With 12-mile-per-hour winds here in Newton, Massachusetts, it is as clear a fall night as you will ever find in the state of Massachusetts. And we are now underway here in Newton as the Eagles look to close out this season with what will hopefully be, from their perspective, their 7th victory of the year, as that shot just missed coming from Nikolai Royale, one of the 14 players that were honored as part of senior night here on the campus of Boston College on their Newton Soccer Complex. Connor Jennings in net for the Hawks, who are 6-6-4 coming into action this season. They're in the A10 tournament for the first time since 2021. Tim Mulqueen, who's in his first season at the helm, an alum of St. Joseph's, has done a fantastic job turning around this program. And Cooper Jennings, who's in net, he's been a big part of this story for the Hawks this season as he boots it toward midfield. A transfer from USC Upstate, and he's got 4 shutouts this season, 4th in the A10 in goals allowed average. Cassidy Tando pushes it back to Sean Boyle. Tando, one of the captains on this St. Joseph's team. They're going with a 5-3-2 formation to start out the night as Jennings boots it away across midfield. Late whistle that will be going against the Hawks. First foul call of the night. That was Moritz Gundelach that ended up falling down for BC. Eagles in their home gold jerseys. Similar color schemes between these two programs. The Hawks are in the crimson, as you can see on the screen. They're moving left to right. Eagles right to left. Ziad Abdul Malak dishes it back. And now Jack Perkard takes a swing into it, headed on net, and saved there by Jennings. Nice early chance for the Eagles, though, to start off this match. That was Michael Asari on the header, the sophomore from Ghana, who does have a goal this year. Asari making his 11th start of the season. Eagles are rolling out a 4-4-2 formation to start off this match. Boston College coming off a loss in their last match. That was against Notre Dame. It was a 1-0 loss. As this one trickles back to Patrick Donovan, and this is one of the stories of the night, when we'll probably see this throughout the night, is a lot of these seniors that were honored today getting some run out on the pitch. And for Donovan, this is the 3rd match in which he has appeared in. As you can see, one of the 14 players that are honored, or that were honored prior to the game. This one, cross to the middle, chance for the Eagles. A couple bodies swinging after it. Still inside the 6, now dish back out. Now chip back post, headed outside the 6. And this one ultimately trickles past that end line as it was pinballing off a couple heads of the Eagles, and they ultimately couldn't set up the type of scoring chance that they were hoping for, as Cooper Jennings will track down the ball and ultimately boot it away. Going back to the Eagles goalkeeper in this one, Patrick Donovan. He's from Westport, Connecticut, transferred from Clemson, spent 3 years with the Tigers, appeared in 8 games there, and this is the 3rd match now in which he has appeared in. He's making his 3rd start. He's got 2 wins under his belt. It was against Dean College and then also against AIC. The Eagles in those 2 combined matches won 19-0. Played the full 90 in the 2nd match against American International. That was a 5-0 victory. Eagles attempting to get it into their attacking 3rd, but it's intercepted. This one comes back to Jennings. Talking with Tim Mulqueen, the head coach of the Hawks, he said what makes Jennings good in net is that he's doing a great job catching crosses. He said he does that extremely well. And despite having a down year in his sophomore campaign at USC Upstate, saw enough on the tape, like what he saw, decided to bring him into the program, and he's been a huge asset. Masato inside the 18, no whistle, as the Hawks for the first time tried to set something up. And Donovan, again, getting some run. It's obviously not been him as the main man in net. Got a nice opportunity for Donovan to get some run here in what'll be the finale of the season. Comes inside the 18. Good move there to ultimately kick it away by Jack Burkhart, but it does set up the first corner kick of the night. And we've seen on the attack already a couple times, Tommaso Rosetto got 3 goals and 3 assists this year. He's one of the top players in terms of shots per game in the A10. He's 4th in that category. Already making things happening and setting up the first corner of the night. Cross inside the 6 and headed back away. Well defended. Part of that experienced back line for the Eagles. Good job there by Abdul Malak. Comes back inside the box. And right back out, and errant passes. Ekeland will now track it down. Senior midfielder from Norway, another one of the seniors honored today. Good deep ball that's tracked down. Asari in the middle, sends it wide. Couple of chances early for the sophomore. Hasn't been able to cash it in yet. Remains scoreless here through 6.5 minutes of action here in Newton, Massachusetts. The Eagles right now are the 15th seed in the ACC tournament. Still a lot to be figured out in the ACC tournament in terms of what the seeding will be. We do know some parts of what it will look like. We do know that Stanford currently has the #1 seed. They haven't locked that in yet. But if they can, they would get the bye to the quarterfinals. As of right now, if things stood still, BC would play against the #2 seed in Virginia. Tando. Back behind midfield to Sean Boyle. Transfer from Bucknell. Some contact in the middle. And Marcy Killian now has a player down for BC. Burkhart to the near side. Finds Abdul Malak. And now Killian has it again, being hounded from behind by Mazzoni, the transfer from LaSalle. Now one skip. Jennings tracks it down, comes out from net. So far, the Eagles have been able to have the edge here in terms of time of possession. Haven't been able to cash it in, though, for a goal. I mentioned those 2 blowout wins that the Eagles had, the 14-0 victory against Dean College and then the 5-0 victory against AIC. They have 27 combined goals this year, but you combine those 2 matches, that takes up 19 of the goals. So the scoring hasn't been as present within conference play, and that was evident in the last loss that they had against Notre Dame last Friday, in which they fell 1-0. Ultimately cleared there by Avalar, the transfer from VCU, but Eagles will have a deep throw-in opportunity. Clock's still ticking along. We did have a whistle here. The Eagles 1-6-1 in ACC play thus far. Their 1 win came earlier in the season. That was against Virginia Tech and on the road. Since then in conference play, they're 0-5-1. Of course, in the ACC tournament, anything can happen. Again, we talked about some of the things we do know at this current juncture. We do know as this ball trickles back to Patrick Donovan, who will send it away. We do know that these teams have clinched a top 8 seed. Stanford, Virginia, NC State, Clemson, Syracuse, and SMU. This one comes inside, and it's saved by Jennings. First, he kicked it, and then ultimately corralled it with his left arm. That was some nifty work there by the goalkeeper on the rush there from Michael Asari, who has already been attacking several times with inside the box for the Eagles thus far in this match. But it does remain scoreless here in Newton. Connor Gibson got a touch there, number 19 on your screen. Getting the start today, part of senior night. In terms of the seniors that were honored today for BC, you have 11 seniors, 1 redshirt junior, 1 redshirt senior, and then a graduate student. Graduate student being Aiden Farwell. Boyle, one of the backs on this St. Joseph's team. Mulqueen says that the backs are really the unsung heroes of this group. Boyle, one of them, making his 5th start of the season. Good work on the ball there by Gibson to stop it as it came across midfield. He's got it right now. Finds C.J. Williams, senior back from Valley Stream, New York. And, of course, a Rebs draft pick. Ekeland tries to track it down. Boyle gets to it first. And another deep throw in on the near side for the Eagles. So great to see the senior night festivities, the families that are in attendance to get a chance to watch these seniors take the field for the final time. Here at the Newton Soccer Complex. Always a special moment. I mean, it is a whole family affair, these types of things. And now here's a deep shot, and it trickles just to the wide of the net. Oh, a glorious opportunity for the Hawks to take the lead. And it was Luke Johnson, one of the captains, who struck it. He read the situation extremely well, seeing Donovan come out well from net and just decided to punt it, or at least attempt to punt it past him, but it sailed wide right after a skip. With that, we remain scoreless. Best scoring chance of the night for the Hawks. That would have been a crazy way for the Hawks to take the lead. I mean, this is a game, even though it obviously from a conference standpoint doesn't mean anything to St. Joseph's. Tim Mulqueen, he took it very seriously, knowing how well his team has been playing this season, wants to keep that momentum going tonight and then into the A10 tournament, which again, they'll be a part of for the first time since 2021. Ricocheted inside the box and headed on net, and Jennings is able to corral it. And who else but Michael Asari again on that right wing position. He's been busy tonight for the Eagles, hasn't been able to cash in a goal yet, but he's been active. And what clinched the Hawks to get into the A10 tournament was a tie against George Mason that Tim Mulqueen said was a program-defining moment. And that's because of the pedigree of George Mason. They were the regular season champs last year. Team that was picked to finish 2nd in the conference as this one is sent wide. Ekeland on the shot this time for the Eagles. So Jennings, he's been tested. That heart rate has stayed up, but no goals yet for the Eagles. But in that match against George Mason, as we have a foul going against the Eagles this time, but in that match against George Mason, they tied it in the 88th minute. It was Mateo Masato who was able to tie that match in the 88th minute. And again, it clinched his spot in the A10 tournament. And just to give some context as to where this team was last year, they finished 4-12-1, and then they were also last in the conference. Good job there by Donovan to step up from net to track that down. They were 1-7, this being the Hawks in A10 play a season ago. And now this year, 3-2-3. Johnson's able to keep it in the field of play. Right on that touch line. This time it was Mazzoni who saved it, but it goes right to Royale. Royale on the move, brings it inside the 18, makes a move to the middle. There was some contact, but there's no whistle. Early on, we play on. Jonathan Belinsky, our lead referee today. Our assistant referee, Risto Georgiev, and then our alternate official, Carlos Fernandez. Pitya Lameri, another one of the assistant referees tonight. Chip toward the middle. Boyle heads it away, and a handball called there against St. Joe's. So free kick opportunity here for the Eagles. It's outside the box, but still in that attacking third. And a chance to set up a set piece here. Jack Burkhardt around the ball with Ask Ekeland. The Eagles already with 7 shots in this match, 3 of which on goal. Burkhardt chips it inside and headed back away. And well defended by that back line as the soccer ball hits the top of our press box. That wasn't on the bingo card for tonight. And it comes here in the 17th minute here in Newton, Massachusetts. Again, appreciate you joining us on this Friday evening. Fun Halloween night. We talked about the senior night, some of the families that were in attendance. The younger members of some of the families were actually in costume as they walked out. And that was pretty fun to see. There was one Scooby-Doo costume that we saw. Williams boots it back toward midfield. There you go, Avalar with the header now, number 3 on your screen for the Hawks. Now Finn Murray, another one of the transfers from LaSalle, gets a touch. He's got an assist this year, making his 2nd start of the season. And now the Eagles are on the move. Ekeland with a burst of speed, sends one right on net. Jennings positioned perfectly to catch it on that line drive attempt. So Jennings continues to be active. He's already made 4 saves in this game. Again, a transfer from USC Upstate. His junior year, it was a step back, but again, a credit to Tim Mulqueen for seeing enough on tape to bring him into the program. He ends up getting the starting job, making his 16th start of the season. He has started all but 1 match for the Hawks this year. And he's been really impressive and a staple of what has made this team successful this year. A ton of new players on this team, 17 newcomers on the roster. No whistle. And now we finally have a stoppage. And they're going to take a look. So this could set up a penalty kick here for the Hawks if they look it over and ultimately rule that there was a foul inside the 18, which would be, of course, a huge advantage for the Hawks to try to grab the early lead here on the road against an ACC program in Boston College. So they're going to take a look at that last play. And again, it could be one that puts the Hawks in an advantageous position. With this little stoppage, we can tell you more about Tim Mulqueen, the head coach here of the Hawks. A really interesting story. He had been a coach in the professional ranks for a long time. First, the Metro Stars was an assistant, Kansas City Wizards, and then spent a lot of time with the U.S. national team and was a coach on the goalkeeping side of things. He was a goalkeeping coach, or a goalkeeper during his playing days. But he was an assistant of the 2008 United States men's soccer team in Beijing. And one player that he had a real influence on in his career is Tim Howard, who credits him with establishing his own career. And he worked with Tim Howard when Howard was very young and waived fees so that Howard could get more experience from the age of 12 with him. And talked to Tim Howard about his career. He credits Tim Mulqueen for what he was able to do for him, but decided to come back. He wanted to take advantage of this opportunity that came about when there was an opening with St. Joseph's. And again, he's made a huge difference already with this program. As the head coaches come together, and they do indeed take a look and decide that there was a penalty inside the 18 that prompts some boos from the home crowd, but it does set up a penalty kick here for the Hawks. A chance to grab the early lead. So it's Luke Johnson going up against Patrick Donovan. What a test for Patrick Donovan here on senior day. First penalty kick chance of the season for one of the captains, Luke Johnson, who does have 2 goals this year. 1v1 with Patrick Donovan. Johnson shoots and scores. Snuck it inside the right post. And the Hawks take the early lead on the road here in Newton. So it is indeed a senior that comes through with the first goal on senior night here at Boston College, but it happens to be a senior from St. Joseph's. And on the first penalty kick chance of his career, Johnson delivers. The foul ultimately went against Finn Hens. And so that set up the opportunity, and Johnson capitalizes. One of the 3 captains on this Hawks club. And in some ways, pretty fitting that he ends up scoring the first goal here, the final game of the regular season. I'll explain why in one moment. As it comes to Burkhart, ends up finding Killian around midfield. The reason I say that, in talking with Tim Mulqueen just about Luke Johnson, he's been here through some lean years record-wise for St. Joseph's, and Johnson is a player that has really had the right perspective on this year. As the Eagles now have their first corner kick of the night, what Tim Mulqueen said about Johnson was that he's a real glue to the team and appreciative of where the team is, and it's because of the years past. Last year they go 4-12-1. Year before, 4-11-2, and then 3-6-8 in 2022. Eagles have their first corner kick of the night. It's Jack Burkhart. Crossed inside too far. Back post intended there for Finn Hens. That's amazing. You go back to that last match against Notre Dame, and BC had a 16-2 edge in terms of corner kicks. They had 7 in the first half, 9 in the second half. Ended up out-shooting Notre Dame as well. They had 14 shots, Notre Dame with 8. In terms of shots on goal, though, Notre Dame had 3, BC with 2. So some positives to take away for the Eagles in that last match against Notre Dame, but again, they ultimately fell 1-0, and that was here at home in Newton. As of now, the Hawks are the ones that have the edge in terms of corners tonight. They go the short way this time. Back post. Oh, what a nice play on the back line to save it. That one ended up sneaking behind Patrick Donovan. And a huge credit to Gundelach on that back line, saving that from being the second goal of the night. St. Joseph's with a 2-1 edge now in corners. If you're just joining us now, first goal came on a penalty kick from Luke Johnson in the 19th minute. Came in at 18 minutes and 12 seconds into the match. Eagles had a couple of early chances, couldn't quite capitalize, and then because of the foul there from Finn Hens, the Hawks were able to grab the early lead. Chance to respond. Abdul Malak sends a shot on it, got ricocheted, stays inside the box. This one goes in, and we're tied up. Ask Ekeland with the equalizer. One of the seniors on senior day ties it up. His 4th goal of the season. And we are knotted at 1. Comes in the 22nd minute and a nice answer for the Eagles. So the transfer from Duquesne steps up. A guy that played in the A10, was a first-team All-A10 member as a sophomore. Last year, second-team All-ACC. Had another really nice season for the Eagles, making his 12th start of the season this year, or in this match. And now up to 11 points on the year with now his 4th goal to go along with 3 assists. Tando heads that away. Eagles trying to work quickly. So far, it's 2 seniors that have come through with the first 2 goals of the night. Deep throw-in chance now for Boston College. Ask Ekeland set to graduate from Boston College this year with a degree in management. Had his parents in attendance for this one. That is extremely cool. And he's from Norway. And again, this night means so much to the families who have a chance to see these players become stars, join an ACC program in Boston College. Got a chance to watch these games on the ACC Network Extra games. And now to, especially if they're far away, get a chance to actually be here. RC Killian whistled for the foul. The fouls thus far, BC with 3 and St. Joseph's with 2. The Hawks set up their attack. 1-5-2 away from home. They've been a really good home team this year. Beautifully set up to Murray just outside the 18. Crosses inside and it goes over the crossbar. Once again, that back line stepping up. And several times we've seen Gundelach make goal-saving plays just as he did right there. The only downside is it sets up the 3rd corner of the night for St. Joseph's. Good design, though, to set up that nice play. Comes inside, ricochet, inside the 18. And it's cleared for the moment. Comes back to the near corner. Headed high in the air by Gundelach. Still in harm's way. This one ricocheted. And once again, the Hawks will have a corner. St. Joseph's, it's interesting, not a prolific corner kick team, as this will set up a goal kick. In fact, they rank toward the bottom of the A-10. They only have 53 total corners this season. And yet they already have 4 tonight. So Patrick Donovan, he's going to boot it away. He's graduating with a master's degree in sports administration. His parents, Dan and Nicole, they were in attendance today. Not too far a trip, Westport, Connecticut. It's at least in the New England area. Good fight for the ball from Royale. Back to Burkhart. Gundelock ends up finding Asari, who's had a busy night in terms of shots. Already has 4 thus far for the Eagles. Hasn't been able to cash him in for any goals. Throw-in opportunity here for Hens on the right wing. Hens has still got it. Looking for Asari. Kick back outside the 18 as the Hawks try to clear it. Do so for the moment, but again, another throw-in for the Eagles on their offensive side of the pitch. Less than 20 minutes to go here in the first half at the Newton Soccer Complex in Newton, Massachusetts. Eagles trying to close out their regular season with a victory. They've been pretty good at home, 5-4-1 this year. On the road, 1-4. Ekeland dishes it back. Burkhart's shot stopped in front. Good job by Boyle to be in the right position. And some frustration from Ask Ekeland on the last whistle that went against Boston College. High arcing boot at midfield. Luke Johnson making some contact there with Connor Gibson. Now we finally have a whistle, and it goes against Boston College. And there's some frustration on the Eagles side of things here with the head referee of this match, and Jonathan Belinsky. So free kick here across midfield for the Hawks. This is chipped inside. Near side post, headed away. Well defended by the Eagles. Eagles are going to have 4 substitutions when they have their first opportunity to bring in players. Patrick Reddy set to check in, one of the seniors honored as part of Senior Day. Aiden Farwell, graduate student that was a part of Senior Day. Dylan Mafong. And then on top of that, Eric Almendaris, another one of the seniors that were honored. Come into the match. So 3 members of the Senior Day festivities, and then the sophomore and Dylan Mafong. Coming out, Ziad Abdul Malak alongside Nikolai Royale. And then Michael Asari gets a break, as does Connor Gibson. Really a hockey substitution here. 4 coming in, 4 coming out. As we're tied at 1 Coming up on 16 minutes remaining here in the first half. Final match of the regular season. And the Eagles trying to snap a 2-game slide. They lost to SMU. This was 2 Saturdays ago before losing in their last match, as we talked about last Friday against Notre Dame, in which they fell 1-0. Farwell leading it to the right wing there, trying to find Ekeland, who makes a nice move, gains possession of the ball, still battling for it, and it'll be a goal kick. That's good effort there from Ekeland. The motor's been so high for him already tonight, and he does have the lone goal for Boston College. That came in the 22nd minute, his 4th goal of the season. Ekeland second on this Boston College team in goals with 4 now. Johannes Henken Chostheim, obviously the team leader. He's got 8. That's tied for 3rd most in the ACC. There's going to be a lot of players that this BC program will have to replace. If you think about this senior day, 14 players honored, and there are 31 players on the roster. Some eligibility will be left over, but at the same time, a lot of key players will have moved on from the program after this season. As Farwell will throw it in. As mentioned before, a graduate student from Scituate, Massachusetts. Played at the Milton Academy. He was an All-American as a senior. He's dealt with some injuries, inconsistent playing time. So great to see him out on the pitch tonight. You figure it's an emotional night for him. As we have a whistle here against St. Joseph's, it's going to go against Diego Avalar. And so a set piece outside the box here for the Eagles, who fell down 1-0 in this match on a penalty kick, tied it at 1 thanks to Ekeland, and now are set up with a good chance to try to grab the lead here in the first half. Three-man wall set up in front of Jack Burkhart and Ekeland. Ekeland bends it around him and ultimately sends it wide left. That was a nice shot. He got it around the 3 players. Able to hook it to the right around them, but then it sailed to the left too far.
Hey, where's the energy? Hey, the ball! Come on, second!
Give you the updated shot totals for Boston College. They now have 12 shots in this match. St. Joseph's with 4. In terms of shots on goal, BC with 5, Hawks with 1. Good recovery. Eagles on the move. Comes inside. Mafong takes it outside the box as the Eagles try to reset. Mafong's got it again. Pushes it to the right wing. Little touch pass back to Mafong. Got 2 goals this year. Last year did not play at all, so playing a lot more this season. Making his 14th appearance of the year. He has also gotten 7 starts this year for the Eagles. Crossed inside. Ultimately missed there by Patrick Reddy, but it's tracked down on the near side, and it comes to Jack Burkhart now. He puts a strike into it with his left foot. Ricocheted outside the 18. Eagles trying to still keep the possession going. They have dominated time of possession in this first half, but again, it's still tied at 1. To the middle. Ekeland finds a body, now dishes it back. Killian's shot is wide. Been a pretty relentless attack here from Boston College. They have continued to create opportunities. And if it continues to go this way, you figure at some point Boston College will grab the edge, just with how good the process has been thus far for this club. But as the score tells you, we're knotted at 1. And that is in part because of a mistake Boston College made to set up a penalty kick. First goal coming in that 19th minute from Luke Johnson. Took the Eagles a little less than 3.5 minutes to respond, though, with the game-tying goal from Ekeland. Ready, looking to feed the middle, ends up being pushed back outside, and now a deep throw-in chance here on the left flank for the Eagles. This one comes inside, and a good job by Jennings to track that one down. No Eagles around him, though, in that spot either. Just go back to the ACC picture. Let you know, of course, with the upcoming ACC tournament, there are 4 teams that came into tonight that still have a shot at least to share of the ACC regular season title. It's Stanford, UVA, NC State, and Clemson. And the ACC tournament starting next Wednesday. It'll begin at campus sites, and then once you get to the semifinals and final, it'll be at First Horizon Stadium and WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. Foul call there against Gundlach. Another free kick chance here for the Hawks. Try to get you some score updates as the night goes along. We do have one final, and it's Cal that ends up beating Stanford. That was in Berkeley. It's a pretty big win for Cal, considering Stanford, the top team in the ACC with 16 points. They came into action tonight 5-1-1. Cal won 5-1, and Cal is the team that ends up winning. It's a pretty big upset tonight, and that puts Cal's bid for that number 1 seed now in jeopardy. So already a crazy start to the night in the ACC. We talked about how important that number 1 seed is in the ACC tournament because you get the bye to the quarterfinals. You're the lone team to get that bye. So still a lot to shake out within the conference. Mazzoni tracks it down. Hawks, interestingly enough, you look at the way that they've played things thus far. They only have had 1 substitution come in. Vegard Bratrup, the Norway native, he's appeared now in the last 4 games. He ended up just checking in. And coming out now is Cassidy Tando. So Tim Mulqueen through the first 35 minutes was rolling with his starters. Little over 8 minutes to go here in half number 1 in Newton. On what is a really beautiful fall night here in Massachusetts. And it feels like fall because we got 12-mile-per-hour winds, but the leaves are also coming down onto the pitch here at the Newton Soccer Complex. For my money, no better time to be in New England than the fall. Hofong pushes it right side. And this was one headed now outside the 6. Stays in the field of play, tracked down by CJ Williams, who's been active in this first half. The backs really have been for BC. Some dangerous chances that have come behind Patrick Donovan that have been saved by the backs. Moritz Gundlach has made a couple of goal-saving plays here in this first half. And again, a thrilling moment for Donovan here in a senior night game, regular season finale, getting his third appearance of the season. Pretty blatant tug there on Patrick Reddy, who tracks it down. Grabbing that left wing position since coming in. Mafong to the middle, comes outside, and Ekeland tried to swing at it with his right foot, and it ends up being cleared. And now the Hawks are on the move. Push to the middle, nobody home. And we play on. Player down for the Hawks. No whistle. And for the Eagles, they about to embark on the ACC tournament. A chance to try to figure some things out offensively. We talked about the edge and corner kicks that the Eagles have 16-2 in their last match against Notre Dame. What that tells you is that they're doing things right in some regards. It's just, again, just putting the ball in the back of the net has been an issue at times. And more notably, it has been within conference play where this team has struggled to score. Look at the conference-only stats. This will be a throw-in here for the Hawks. BC ranking 14th out of 15 ACC teams in terms of goals within conference play. They have 3. They've given up 12. Only team behind them is Louisville. What was at least encouraging about that Notre Dame loss, they generated shots. They're third to last in terms of shots within conference action at 67. But they had the shots edge, but again, fell 1-0. They fell down 1-0 in this match, tied it at 1. Still have 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Mafong and the Eagles now on the move. Push back toward the middle for Gundelock. Battle for the ball as it crossed that end line, and it will be a corner kick. And Brotrook, he was the one that set that up. That was really well played by the Norway native. Fifth corner kick of the night, punched away. Good job there by Patrick Donovan. And now we'll have the sixth corner kick of the night for the Hawks. Pretty noteworthy that there have been so many corners for the Hawks in this match. As this comes inside, Donovan is able to punch it out with 2 hands. And we'll have yet another corner for the Hawks. I bring this up because St. Joe's is last in the A-10 in corners. And yet now they have 6 tonight in one half. Actually, check that. Now they have 7. They haven't been able to capitalize on it yet in terms of turning it into a goal. Been well defended by the Eagles. This one grounded just wide of that back post. Couple of dangerous chances here for the Hawks, who try to re-grab the lead. Instead, it remains St. Joseph's 1, Boston College 1 with 2.5 to go here in the first half. It's been eventful here, and both teams playing extremely hard. And we talked about the stakes of this match. it doesn't really mean much for either team in the grand scheme of things, considering it's a non-conference matchup. Yet the energy level has been high, and I think it's for a couple different reasons from both programs' perspectives. Talked about St. Joseph's perspectives, as this will roll past the end line and be another goal kick here for Patrick Donovan. Now check that, they actually say it will be a corner. There was not enough urgency to ultimately get to that ball. No, it will be a throw in here for BC, but it didn't go across that end line. But from St. Joseph's perspective, they're trying to keep their momentum rolling, keep things, in the flow that they're in going into the A-10 tournament, knowing how much it'll mean for this program to be back there for the first time in 4 years. And then for the Eagles, you're just trying to get things right going into that ACC tournament, knowing you're going to be, a low seed right now, the number 15 seed in the conference. Under a minute to go here at half number one. "13 shots for Boston College in this first half." Eagles try to restart things quickly with the clock winding down. Coming up on 20 seconds remaining. Gundelock boots it toward the middle. Comes back to midfield. Burkhart knocks it down. Chip by Killian. Then ends up finding Ekeland. Already scored once in this first half. Bends it inside the 18. But that'll do it here at half number one in Newton. It was an eventful one. 19 combined. Quinn, what's your number, by the way? You're there, right? Okay. It's at 366, right? Go. Shoot. Nope, I'm just talking to you. I'm gonna shoot you a text right now. What, Joel? Do you get my text? Thank you. Yep. Oh, God. I love Back here at the Newton Soccer Complex as BC and St. Joseph's get ready for second half action here from Newton, Massachusetts. Joe Weil with you. Appreciate you joining us for this regular season finale for both Boston College and St. Joseph's. And both of these clubs are going to be competing in their respective conference tournaments coming up. But at the same time, both these teams trying to end their regular season on high notes, and both clubs, of course, have one goal through 45 minutes of action. It was St. Joseph's who struck first on a penalty kick goal from Luke Johnson in the 19th minute, and then the Eagles tied it up 3.5 minutes later, or 3 minutes and 20 seconds later, from Ekeland's fourth goal this season. In this second half, St. Joseph's moving right to left. They're wearing their crimson jerseys with the Eagles in their gold jerseys, of course, maroon lettering and numbers in the front and back. Good lead pass here to Farwell, one of the graduate students that was honored today as part of Senior Day. 14 players honored and one team impact member as well. And what has been a festive night here at BC. Pretty good crowd, especially for a Halloween weekend, as that shot ends up getting saved there. Good job in net by Cooper Jennings, who's been very active. That save he just made, the fifth of the night. Shot came from Ziad Abdul Malak. Eagles do have a corner kick coming up. In terms of corner kicks, St. Joseph's had the edge 7-1 in the first half. So this is just the second quarter of the night for BC. Trying to capitalize here and gain the advantage for the first time tonight. This is chipped inside the 6. It's punched out by Jennings. He got his right hand to it. Trickles over to the other side, and now another corner kick upcoming for Boston College. Line drive right inside the 18. Then Murray brings it back to Jennings, who boots it away with his right foot. Has some head-to-head contact, and the foul there is going to go against Marcy Killian. He came in from behind there So the right call. In terms of fouls, BC now with 8, St. Joseph's with 6. That was Luke Johnson who caught a little bit of the head-to-head there from the Hawks. Again, the man that scored the lone goal tonight for the Hawks. And Johnson now has got 3 goals this year. His other goals came against Dayton and Loyola, Maryland. Fight for the ball on the left wing. And Abdul Malak will now throw it in. I mentioned a couple times, the ACC part of things for Boston College right now, the number 15 seed in the ACC tournament. They could jump as high as 13, but they're one of 5 teams that will not host a first-round game. So we do know that. CJ Williams brings it forward. Ekeland tries to set something up. Ricocheted away by a Hawks defender. The other 4 teams that will for sure not host a first-round game that we know of, Wake Forest, Pitt, Louisville, and Cal. That means they can't finish as an 8 seed or higher at this current juncture. That's still a lot to be figured out across the conference. And if you missed it before, Cal beat Stanford earlier tonight, a 1-0 victory. Big shocker thus far. And Stanford came into the day as the number 1 seed in the ACC tournament, and now that's in jeopardy because they lost to a team in Cal that only had 1 conference win. Good move to the middle. This shot deflected, but it does set up another corner for Boston College. That was well read there by Diego Avalar, who's made some nice plays on that back line for the Hawks. But the Eagles, they continue to create chances for themselves, and 3rd corner kick of the second half, 4th overall of the game upcoming. Can the Eagles grab the lead for the first time tonight? They cannot, at least in this current play. It hits the netting on top of the net.
Diego, Sean! Go!
This one booted away by Jennings, and we have another foul coming from the back there from Gillian. This gives us a chance to give our entire production crew a shout out. Quinn Kelly, our director tonight, producer, Artie Sullivan on replay, John Goldsmith, AK Greek on camera. Mentioning how nice a weather night this has been, at least from a fall weather standpoint. During the break, John giving me a little bit of grief, and rightfully so. Here I am in a warm booth on a 50-degree night with winds gusting over 10 miles an hour, and John's the guy that's actually the one out there on camera. But big thank you to John for his great work tonight, bringing the action to you. So far, the action in the second half, at least over the last minute or so, has been stuck right around the middle. Giving you the shot totals again. Boston College with 16, St. Joseph's with 6. Shots on goal, BC with 6, and the Hawks with 2. Only 1 yellow card given out in this match. That was the captain, or one of the captains of the Hawks, Cassidy Tando. Aiden Farwell looks to track that down. It's ultimately cleared. Deep throw-in chance, though, for the Eagles. Ekeland back to Burkhart. And now Ekeland crosses it. Was intending for Farwell as this trickles past that end line. It's been a pretty successful season overall here at home for Boston College. I mentioned before that they have 5 wins here in Newton. Those wins came against Binghamton, Northeastern, Dean College, Boston University, and then their last win at home came against AIC. It's been tougher sledding, obviously, in conference action here at home. Mentioned that last loss to Notre Dame, also lost to NC State. There was a loss back in early September as well to Cal. Ball came back to Donovan, who's been untested thus far in this second half. 1 goal allowed, that was on the penalty kick. Really no fault of his own there. A tough chance and a good shot. That came from Luke Johnson. Does have 1 save under his belt thus far tonight. And one of the reasons Donovan's netted his senior night, Andrej Borak, he's getting the night off, their normal starting goalkeeper. And the freshman from Serbia, he's played a ton this year, 4-8-1 record, 55 saves, started in 13 games. But again, on a night like tonight where you're taking on an A10 opponent, this doesn't mean anything for conference play. Now, you want to give somebody like Donovan, a senior transferring in from Clemson, a chance with his family in attendance to grab the reins at net and get an opportunity to shine. Dangerous ball coming up here for Finn Murray, but a good job by Donovan to read it, step up and snare it. And it remains a 1-1 match. But a great move there by Williams to step up just outside the box. And now the Eagles are on the rush with a player down for St. Joseph's. And St. Joseph's team has a ton of Pennsylvania representation, a lot of players are coming from around the Philly area, which is something that Tim Mulqueen has really tried to emphasize. You know, being a university based in Philadelphia, they want to try and recruit from around that spot. And it's been a point of emphasis for his program now that he's taken over the reins. As we talked about before, he was the star goalkeeper at St. Joseph's, part of the St. Joseph's Hall of Fame. He's had a fantastic career. All-time top 10 in saves, goals allowed average, and shutouts. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame for St. Joseph's in 2017. Ended up beginning his career with Rutgers as a coach, as an assistant. Had some really good teams over there. 3 of those teams made the NCAA Final Fours with Rutgers, 1989 team, 1990 team, and 1994. Barwell, just outside the 18, makes a move toward that end line and ends up giving it back to Ekeland. He boots it high in the air, just outside the 6. And it's whistle dead, and it'll be a goal kick here for Jennings. Ends up being an offsides call against Boston College. Vin Hens with some space. Williams now in the middle, tripped up. And the right call there, a foul call, comes after a couple seconds of Williams being down. So here we go, a set piece outside the box for Boston College with the match tied at 1. And as has been the case for these set pieces, it's Burkhart and Ekeland around the ball. We'll see how the Hawks try to defend this and how they'll set up the wall in front. Utilizing 4 players here right in front of the ball, straight on. We've seen Ekeland try to bend it around the wall a couple times already today. He's got the lone goal for Boston College. Ekeland shoots. It ricocheted off the post, came back out, and the second opportunity sails wide. You got to give Ekeland a ton of credit for the way he was able to place that around the wall and somehow get it close enough that as it was making its way toward the net, it looked like it could have been a goal, and it almost was in real time. Hit off that far side post, and then the ricochet came back out just outside the 6. And the Eagles couldn't capitalize. So still a 1-1 draw here in Newton. Over 31 minutes left. Push to the far side. Herman to beat Refsgaard, a Norway native. And that shot from Ekeland sails over the crossbar. Some audible frustration from the senior from Norway. He's been all over the place in this match, and the effort level from him has been extremely high. I think if your head coach, Bob Thompson, you have to be thrilled with what you've seen from him in this match. 6 shots already tonight. The lone goal for Boston College. Now, last one, you can understand the frustration from him. He had a dead-on look and ended up just getting under the ball too much. Farwell to the middle. Finds Ekeland. Some crisp passing from Boston College as it's pushed to the far side for Burkhart. Eagles trying to take the lead. This comes near side post, and it's tapped by Farwell right into the hands of Jennings. And another test for Cooper Jennings before the A10 tournament begins. That's a tournament in which the top 8 teams end up making it. St. Joseph's right now in the 5 spot. It's an amazing story, though. Again, you have a head coach who comes in, he's an alum and a storied career that he had with the program, prior to now being the head coach of this team. This St. Joseph's team was picked to finish 12th in the conference out of 13 teams. And again, for the first time in 4 years, they end up making the A10 tournament because of the turnaround, in part because of the newcomers that they brought in, which was 11 freshmen and 6 transfers. And then you still have the holdovers like Luke Johnson, who scores the lone goal tonight, or has scored the lone goal tonight for the Hawks, having an impact as well. And he gets that happy moment in his career where he gets an opportunity to compete for the A10 crown. Ekeland shoots and scores! Second goal of the night for Ask Ekeland, and the Eagles take the lead. The seniors having a career night on senior night here in Newton, and the Eagles are ahead for the first time tonight. Goal number 5 on the year, and it comes in the 62nd minute. The ball ends up finding him there. He's inside the box, off the ricochet, and he ends up sending it in. What a career Ask Ekeland has had with Boston College. You think about his time in the college ranks, the transfer from Duquesne. He was first team all A10. Comes to Boston College last year, 8 goals, 18 points. And having an impact tonight. It's the second career 2-goal match for Ask Ekeland. And amazingly, he did it in his first career match with Boston College. Kind of storybook in terms of full circle. You start off your career with a team with 2 goals. It was against Iona last year. And now in his last regular season match with BC, he scores 2 goals. Still plenty of time to add on to that as well. Another chance for the Eagles. First shot attempt of the night for Johannes Henkin Chostheim, who's of course the team leader in goals this year. Sends it wide right. So for Ask Ekeland, he now has 13 career goals with Boston College through 2 seasons. What a find he's been for Bob Thompson. And what's so impressive tonight is just the motor he has had, trying to make things happen consistently offensively. And that's, of course, part of his game. But he has certainly done that for the Eagles. Ends at midfield, pushes it across midfield to Farwell. Leads it forward, beautiful chance again for the Eagles. And ultimately a missed opportunity. Abdul Malak, he almost had his first goal of the night. Would have been his second goal of the season. Good job by Jennings to step up. So it's BC 2, St. Joseph's 1, but really it's Ask Ekeland 2, St. Joseph's 1. 25.5 minutes remaining here in the second half. It's always interesting to watch players that come in from different conferences and how they end up adjusting to being with one of these Power 4 schools like Boston College, of course, is. And Ekeland has certainly made his presence felt with this Eagles program over the last 2 seasons. He was on the ACC preseason watch list. Now, as Bob Thompson said about him, any program lucky to have him. And he takes pressure off of the young guys with what he's able to do out there on the pitch. But accepted the challenge of coming to the Eagles after 2 great seasons with Duquesne. I mentioned, of course, that he was first team member in the A10 in his sophomore year. He was the rookie of the year and also a first team member in his freshman season as well. Just an incredible player and having a fantastic night for Boston College. Again, his second career 2-goal match. But the Hawks now are on the move, trying to make something happen for the first time here in this second half, really. Slide tackle on the ball by Burkhardt, who sends it away. We have a substitution now for the Hawks as Aldo Hernandez comes in for the first time tonight. Luke Johnson comes out. 11th match that Hernandez has appeared in. He's a Delaware native. Does have 1 goal and 1 assist this year. Lone goal coming against Lehigh. Comes back to Jennings. To the Eagles' credit, after giving up 7 corner kicks in the first half to St. Joseph's, they don't have any in this second half. It's been a clean defensive half for BC. But the Hawks trying to apply some pressure right now. Still plenty of time. Around 23 minutes remaining in this match. But again, the Eagles have the lead for the first time tonight. Ask Ekeland's goal coming in the 62nd minute, his second of the night. Foul called against Marcy Killian. You know, Ekeland, he's such a big part of the game plan, and you think about trying to come off a year in which he had 8 goals. And, you know, BC did return 15 of their 23 goals from last year, and Ekeland, as I mentioned before, had 8 of them. There have been other players that have been able to step up, like Johannes Henken Chostheim. But tonight has been Ekeland's night. And boy, what a way it would be to just send off, you know, the seniors that were honored today with the victory here at home, with family in attendance. Chipped inside. That was to Boyle. Came inside the 18, but he didn't do much with it. And so, with that, Patrick Donovan will scoop it up. Eagles trying to get out of their own end right now. St. Joseph's did a nice job applying the pressure, but ultimately it'll be a throw in here for Boston College. And the Eagles, of course, hoping for a deeper run in the ACC tournament. Last year they lost in the first round to SMU. They were the 13 seed. And the regular season finale last year, one of the more noteworthy games from last season. They upset the number 8 team in the nation at the time in UNC. Of course, hoping for a deeper run once they get into the ACC tournament. And as we've talked about who they'll play, what seed they are, unknown right now. They'll sit somewhere between the 15 seed and the 13 seed. But we'll have more of an idea of where they'll be at by night's end. You have some other scores to update you around the conference. We'll get those to you right now. So we mentioned this before. Cal beats Stanford. Stanford, the number 1 seed coming into the day in the ACC. They fell to Cal, who only had 1 win coming into action tonight. We have another final. Syracuse and NC State. They ended up tying at 1. Both those teams were in the upper part of the conference coming into the night. NC State was the number 3 seed, Syracuse the number 5 seed, so both those teams gained a point. And offsides called there on Johannes Henkin. Showtime. And Dylan Mafong will now come into the match. We'll see who's replacing. And it ends up being Ziad Abdul Malak, the redshirt senior. And we'll see if this is it for Abdul Malak here at the Newton Soccer Complex. One of the players honored today, a redshirt senior. Transfer from Lemoyne. He was All-NEC first team member last year. Another one of those players, you think about bringing in from a different conference and a different level of play, and you wonder how it's going to translate, in this type of conference. And he ends up being a pretty key contributor in terms of minutes played, how many games he's played in. Appeared in every match now, and now with 9 starts as well. Good boot from Donovan. At about 3/4 the length of the pitch. Ball back in midfield. Gundalach down on the turf. He made some pretty hard contact there going for the ball. Grabbing at his lower back, and the Hawks are on the move, trying to find the equalizer. Crossed inside, nobody home. There weren't enough Hawks players that ended up making it into that attacking third, and the clock is stopped at 18:09 with Gundalach down. That was some pretty hard contact he made right around midfield. It was his lower back in which he was grabbing at. And I continue to try to shake that off. As we await how he's feeling in this current moment, let's get you some other scores. Virginia and SMU, they're scoreless right now in the 65th minute. Virginia Tech and Clemson. It's Clemson with a 3-2 edge against the Hokies. That's in Clemson, South Carolina in the 68th minute. Wake has a 3-0 lead against Notre Dame. Pittsburgh and Louisville, they're scoreless. That game looks like it's about to just come to a final. And then Duke and UNC are scoreless. They're in the first half. That's Chapel Hill.
When they play, you have to step on him.
It's been another banner year for the ACC, as it always tends to be. Johannes Henkin, Chostabi's whistle for the foul. Yeah, just the representation that they have in the United Soccer's coaches poll. Stanford in that #1 spot. I mean, again, the #1 team in the nation falling to Cal. What a big deal that is. And on top of that, NC State #4 team in the coaches poll. Virginia at 6. And amazingly, 13 of the 15 ACC teams, they've been ranked at some point this year. And of course, the ACC has so much success when they get to the College Cup. At least one ACC team has reached the College Cup in 22 of the last 24 seasons. And 2 years ago, it was Clemson that won it all. At the same time, you think about the New England representation, too, and how well this region has done on the soccer front. You think of Vermont last year and their incredible run to winning the College Cup. And of course, the hope is that the Eagles at some point can be like that and be that program. Burkhardt to the middle. Ultimately booted away. And of course, the Eagles, last time they made the NCAA tournament was in 2019. Their last Elite 8 appearance was back in 2015.
Make it bigger.
This huge. Oh, she's like a tiny girl. Yeah, she's like 5'2". Yeah, just big.
Get up! Get up to people! Go, Tommaso! Yeah! Keep it in. Come on, Jake, again! Make sure we're running the ball. Make sure you get the ball, huh? Eric! You have to win that next ball. Hey!
Under 15 minutes left here from Newton. Mo Fong tries to win the foot race to the end line. It's tapped there by Jennings.
Diego, Aldo can step, man. Nobody's telling. Aldo can step, but you're not telling him.
It appears that was called past that end line, and it's forth the goal kick here from Cooper Jennings. Mo Fong to the middle. Shoots it wide. Mo Fong, a sophomore midfielder from San Diego, California. 2 goals already this year. One thing that Bob Thompson said about him is that it's lightning in a bottle. He scores every day in training. Fun to think about his future with this Eagles team and what that could look like next year. You figure with the amount of experience he's gotten under his belt this season that there's likely to be some more starts under his belt next year. This one comes back to Donovan. Again, showtime to Ekeland, who's got the 2 goals tonight for Boston College. Second career 2-goal match for the Norway native. Gundelock boots it high into the air across midfield. And now Farwell tracks it down toward that near side corner. 12.5 minutes remaining here from Newton. And another Boston versus Philly showdown. As that one's headed away. It's fun to think of these 2 cities, especially from the sports standpoint. Very similar DNAs, Boston and Philadelphia. And some frustration on the sideline. And that's because there was some sorting out here on the pitch. And the clock was continuing to roll off. So as of now, it's at 11 minutes and 46 seconds left. It looked like it was still going at 11:52, but we play on.
We want to sub!
All right, so the clock stops as of now at 11:46. 36 rather. 34. Third time's the charm as Mason Chapo comes in.
Mason, not too hot.
Foul called against Aiden Farwell. It's getting a little bit chippier here down the stretch. Both teams wanting some calls from the officiating crew. And some frustration here with the head referee. This has been frustration expressed on both sides here against Jonathan Belinsky. Some of the clock management. Mateo Masato ends up booting it. It was just outside the 6, punched away there by the keeper, Patrick Donovan.
Jake, I need you where you can score.
And so foul called here against BC. So a free kick coming outside the 18 on that right wing spot. And a yellow card here given against Dylan Mafong. That's the first against Boston College tonight. Only the second booking of the game. So 10 minutes and 43 seconds left, and a chance here for the Hawks to find the equalizer. That was an offsides call anyway against St. Joseph's. Donovan sends it high in the air. And very smartly by the Hawks, they just let that roll out of bounds. Under 9.5 to go. Mafong shoots. Saved by Jennings. Tracked down there by the graduate student in Aiden Farwell, who shoots it over the crossbar. So Jennings with a big save to keep it a 2-1 match. Nice attack there from Dylan Mafong. Searching for his third goal of the season, but Jennings steps up. Foul call there against Jake Ross, the transfer from West Virginia, as Finn Hens is down grabbing at his right ankle. And the clock will stop again, 8:34 left. Nice to see Hens back up on his 2 feet. The clock stops with, again, 8:34 left here in this second half. Exciting times in college soccer. Just thinking about conference tournament season starting to get underway here next week. And again, the pedigree of the ACC, once they get into the NCAA tournament, the teams that do. I mentioned Clemson winning 2 years ago. Of course, they won in 2021 as well. And then sandwiched in between their 2 championships was Syracuse winning in 2022.
was it not in the frame of the goal, though? Let's go!
Another clock stoppage. Nikolai Royale comes back into the match. And Johannes Henken Chostheim comes out. Team leader in goals, as we've talked about, transfer from Mercy University. Free kick here for the Hawks. Mateo Masato. The graduate student, 3 goals, 3 assists. Starts things off on the free kick. Headed high into the air, comes in front of Donovan. Undalak clears it with the header outside of the box. And now chipped away as the Eagles try to bring it outside the Hawks attacking third. They keep it inside. This shot bends just outside the far post. All right, so the Eagles now 6 minutes away from winning the regular season finale. And if they can hang on, they'll finish the regular season 7-8-1. More wins than they did a season ago. They finished last year 6-5-6 overall. Of course, this is a pesky St. Joseph's team that tied their last match against George Mason. And a reminder, they did it in the 88th minute with the equalizer. That came from Mateo Masato. He chips it inside, and Donovan knocks it down and smothers himself onto the ball. A dangerous ball there, and you see why the Hawks can be so dangerous, and especially Masato. He does so many different things.
Good job, boys. Come on. Hey, boys. Hey, keep playing. Give them this ball. Come on, let's go. We're going to play.
And now Connor Gibson will come back in. Mateo Masada, he's done so many different things for this Hawks team. 6 goals, 2 assists. One thing that Coach Mulcoyne said about him is that he does a really good job staying connected with our attacking group. He's part of the Philly Soccer 6 all-rookie team. And you saw that there. I mean, the lead ball forward that Donovan had to step up and ultimately smother himself on. There have been plays like that throughout the season for the Hawks that he has really done a nice job setting up. So 4.5 minutes and counting remaining. And if the Eagles hang on, this will be the most wins in a regular season for Bob Thompson in his tenure with Boston College. I mentioned he had 6 a year ago. Also had 6 wins in 2021. That was a 6-7-2 campaign. And again, last year they went 6-5-6. Mateo Masada. Sent it inside the 18. It was headed right back away. And now Ekeland in the open field looking for his 3rd goal. Tried the deep boot. And actually, yeah, that was the Eagles almost were caught sleeping on a similar type play in the first half, where it was Patrick Donovan that came really far out from net. Ultimately, it didn't end up hurting the Eagles. And the first goal of the match came from the Hawks anyway at a penalty kick. 25 shots for BC now in this match. Hawks with 7. And foul there against the Eagles. Shots on goal, BC with 9. St. Joseph's with 2. Yeah, and to the Eagles' credit, you look at the way the second half has played out. The Hawks at the end of the first half, they had 6 shots, 2 of which on goal. This half, the Hawks have had just 1 shot. And by comparison, the Eagles have put up 12 shots in this second half, and they've been able to put 4 of which on goal, including the go-ahead goal in the 62nd minute from Ekeland. Comes back to Donovan. Looking for his 3rd victory in a BC uniform. And another booking against the Hawks. Jake Ross whistled for the yellow. So the clock stops with 2:13 remaining. Eagles ahead 2-1.
Can the lineman talk to the ref? No, you have the team here. You can talk to the ref. Fix it. Yes. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Making sure. Okay, thank you. Ref. Nico, get out. Come on, BC. Yes, Patty. Hey, bro. Diego. Hey.
Under 2 minutes to go here from Newton. The Eagles are closing in on a senior night victory. They're on Halloween 2025. Ekeland with a touch to the middle, and Jennings comes out from net, throws it pretty deep toward midfield. Finn Hens hits it off the press box. That's the 2nd time we've been clipped tonight. And this comes toward net. Donovan with a save. And you wonder if that's the last chance for the Hawks tonight. 1 minute remaining in the regular season for both these programs. Again, both clubs will embark on their respective conference tournaments coming up next week. Clock stops with 36 seconds left. And it's going to be Cooper Jennings that'll boot it away. So obviously so far out from net. He tries to set something up here for the Hawks with 36 seconds left. Not over quite yet here in Newton. On the free kick, Jennings chips it inside, and it's headed right back out by Nikolai Royale. Still in the Hawks attacking third. Jennings still at midfield. And it'll be a corner kick here for St. Joseph's. They have to hurry up. 15 seconds left. 10 seconds remaining. Here comes the corner inside, headed outside the 18. This one chipped to the left, and the Eagles will walk out of Newton with a senior night victory. 2-1 the final, Boston College over St. Joseph's in the regular season finale.